So waking up at the same time each night can mean something more than what we think. There's something called a Chinese medicine body clock, which explains why sometimes it happens. So human beings have this intrinsic and powerful connection to the sunlight that evolved over thousands of years. And before the advent of electricity, we were bound to the constraints of daylight, and our sleep cycles actually followed suit. But today, electricity and technology stimulation have allowed our minds and bodies to be active after sundown, which can wreak havoc on our health. So many hormonal processes in the body are literally hardwired to be orchestrated by sunlight in the absence of sunlight. So it's no surprise that adhering to a normal sleep pattern is therefore highly important to maintaining optimal health. Now, many people report that they fall asleep easy, but then they wake up the same time in the middle of the night. This can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you can't fall back asleep and wake up tired the next day. So the concept of an organ clock in Chinese medicine is a very useful tool in understanding why this occurs. So in Chinese medicine, energy or qi actually moves through the body, meridians and organs in a 24-hour cycle. Every 2 hours, the qi for energy is strongest within a particular organ and its functions within the body. So, and that's not all. The body, mind, and emotions are inseparable in Chinese medicine, meaning that if you have disharmony in your physical body, it's tied to your emotional state. So if you're waking up at 3 a.m. when your liver energy peaks, you may be suffering from liver qi stagnation, which may be related to an unhealthy diet, excess alcohol consumption, unresolved anger, or high levels of stress. If you consistently wake up at 4 a.m., it could be due to an imbalance in your lungs, which is related to grief, sadness, fatigue, or reduced immune function. This is the most important time to sleep. So many of us are habitual night owls, and some of us think nothing of it if we get enough sleep at night, right? But according to Chinese medicine, it's not only how much sleep that matters, but also when you actually get it. So a bedtime of 10:30 p.m. at the latest, it is advised, so that you sleep by 11, and that's when that liver and gallbladder start to regulate that qi process, emotions, they balance hormones, and detoxify the body. The window from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., which correlates to the liver and gallbladder, is most important in terms of maintaining health, especially as we age. Because many of us have heard the old adage, every hour of sleep before midnight is worth 2 after midnight, right? We've all heard that. That idea is backed by modern sleep science. We experience the deepest part of sleep during the first third of the night. This deep sleep, or slow wave sleep, SWS, is the most restorative part of our sleep. So during these hours, the stress hormone cortisol is reduced and the parasympathetic nervous system activity increases, which allows us to fully rest and move away from the flight or fight response that tends to dominate during waking hours. SWS is associated with memory and learning, and a lack of this type of sleep can actually reduce daytime functioning and alertness, as well as waking and feeling unrefreshed. Also, human growth hormone, which is essential to repairing our bodies from daily injury and maintaining health, is released from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., making each hour of sleep during this time critical. So check out this guide that we're going to kind of go over and get some insight into why you may be waking up at certain hours. So acupuncture is a great way to help balance the qi within your body, to help improve your sleep, energy, balance emotions. Yoga, meditation, physical activity, a healthy diet, and adhering to a consistent bedtime will also greatly impact your sleep. So from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., this is called the triple burner, which is related to the heart and the pericardium. So emotions of joy, lack of joy, depression, hopelessness, it's also linked to that as well. So the function of the triple burner, it's not really a distinct organ, but it's related to our endocrine and lymphatic systems. So it controls metabolism within the body. Symptoms of imbalance are things like mania, feelings of guilt, depression, adrenal fatigue, hormone imbalance, sluggish metabolism, frequent headaches, fatigue, earaches, swollen lymph nodes, fibromyalgia type discomfort, thyroid disorders, alternating chills with fever. So maybe consider going to bed a little bit early to establish that calming nighttime routine and avoid artificial light after 9 p.m. So if you're waking between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., this is going to be the gallbladder, which is strongly tied to the liver. This is going to be tied also to emotions of indecisiveness. So let's talk about some functions. The gallbladder actually stores and excretes bile to facilitate proper digestion. It also rules the decision-making process and controls the tendons and governs the dreams. So symptoms of imbalance are going to be things like indecision, frequent sighing, things like that, rash decisions, poor judgment, difficulty making decisions, feeling shy, timid, high cholesterol, resentment, dream disrupted sleep, weak tendons, tendinitis. So tips for helping this area would be things like avoiding alcohol, avoiding trans fats and spicy foods, especially before bedtime. Eat a small dinner well before bedtime and avoid snacking. If you're waking between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., the target organ will probably be the liver. So this can cause emotional anger and irritability. The liver's responsible for detoxifying our bodies, has over 500 functions, and it processes emotions each night. The liver stores the blood and governs the chi of the body. It is associated with tendons, nails, and eyes. So think back to a night when you had too much to drink or a period of intense frustration at work. Did you wake up between 1 and 3 a.m. unable to fall back asleep? According to Chinese medicine, the perspective of the liver was overload and a struggle to do its work. Symptoms of imbalance: explosive outbursts, anger, bottled up emotions, resentment, irritability, moodiness, frustration, high blood pressure, chest distension, PMS, a bitter taste in your mouth, digestive upset, dizziness, migraine, headaches, breast tenderness, blurred vision, eye floaters, tendinitis, frequent sighing. Make sure to drink your alcohol in moderation, if any, and eat your last meal a few hours before bed. So consider whole food cleanse as well, and cut out coffee for a week and replace it with green tea. Find ways to deal with your anger and frustration in a more healthy way. Get regular exercise, and that's going to help you as well. If you're waking between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m., this is going to be the lung. So some of the emotions that are affected here are going to be sadness and grief, and the lung governs the respiratory and immune system, and it regulates the sweat glands and moistens the skin. So when it's imbalanced, we're going to feel sadness or grief that have not been dealt with, shortness of breath, sweating easily, weak voice, shallow breathing, fatigue, cough, frequent colds and flus, fevers and chills, sore throat, runny nose, headache, allergies, asthma, chest pain, pale complexion, dry skin, depression, crying. Some tips for dealing with this: try breathing exercises and meditation or yoga to help improve your lung capacity. Consider talking to a professional about some feelings if you're suffering from sadness or grief. Write in your journal about your emotions and before bed each night. I'm sure that you've already learned some great tips. Please share below.